Do you want to understand how to communicate effectively with people at work? Well, if you do, this video will show you the #1 thing that you need to understand in order to resonate with another person and communicate effectively. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I will share with you one amazing video that will help you understand how you might be sabotaging yourself unconsciously with your interactions with others. So stick around for that. I'll share that at the end. Look, communicating effectively is essential for you to be able to progress and be able to, promote. There's no way that another person is going to promote in an organization or in their personal life, right? Even grow in their personal life if they don't understand how to communicate with others. And the key component here is understand that people communicate differently based on their personality styles. We all have a style of communication that either is going to serve us with others or disserve us with others, right? Essentially, there are 4. There's the direct person, right, that just says it like it is and just explains the thing right without any, worry about how people feel or think about how it comes out of this person's mouth. That direct person, right, if you're that person, you need to understand that if you're communicating with another person that's direct like you, then that's not a problem. They'll resonate with you. There'll be resonance. However, if you're communicating with the person that is the opposite of that, they're more passive and more subdued and a little bit more relaxed and like to kind of sugarcoat things, guess what? There will be no resonance. And if you're the type of person that's very, factual and detail oriented and even direct, but in a softer approach, then guess what, right? You're not going to be able to communicate effectively with that person that's really direct or that person that might be a little bit more passive. And if you're that person who's more emotional and engaging and likes to just kind of, skirt the edges of the conversation and maybe have some dialogue outside of the actual direct communication, then guess what? You need to understand that you're not going to be able to effectively communicate with the direct person or the passive person or the analytical person unless you modify your style of communication to match and mirror theirs. This is the key. Listen to me here because this is important, right? I've been working with people literally all over the country and internationally, helping them to communicate better. And I had to learn it through my own experience, right? I had a certain way of communicating, right? And I was communicating to everybody like that. What I learned is that I should not be communicating to people based on my communication style. I should be communicating to them based on their communication style. And so I need to understand that, look for some tells to understand those styles. And then once I understand those, I modify me a little bit to kind of match and mirror theirs. Now, not in a way that's inauthentic, but just subtle things that you can do in order to communicate more effectively with other people by just managing your own style to match and mirror theirs. So let me give you the 4 essential ways to do this. I'll give you a few quick tips here to give you some understanding. If I am going to deal with somebody who's very direct and very maybe aggressive or linear and loud tone of voice, the direct person, well, what I need to do if I'm not like that, I need to just kind of amp up a little bit, right? I often tell my people in my classes or my trainings, drop and do some push-ups, do some jumping jacks, get jacked up before you have that conversation, because you're going to need to kind of increase your volume a little bit. You're going to need to speed up your tempo a little bit. You're going to need to be more direct and get to the point and not waste somebody's time, right? That is really important. So if I'm going to come into an interaction with you and you're more direct, I'm going to be direct. I'm going to look right at you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to ask you how your weekend was. I'm just going to get right to the point. I'm going to speed up my tempo. I'm going to increase my volume. My tempo of breathing is going to increase, and that will cause us to resonate. You may not even recognize that I'm doing it. It'll just feel right. Okay, so this is important. So let's look at another style. So let's talk about the person who's more passive and more caring and nurturing and softer tone of voice and slower tempo of breathing, right? If I'm going to communicate with that person and I'm that direct person who's fast and at the point and get to it, right? I need to take a little bit of breather and metaphorically have a cup of tea with this person, right? So slow everything down, lower my tone of voice, work around the edges of the conversation, bring in something externally like how was your weekend or how are your children or anything that you might know about that person, or talk about something that's going on in the world that's positive. And I'm going to slow everything down. I'm going to have a metaphorical cup of tea with this person so I resonate with them. Imagine if you go into an interaction with somebody who is more slow tempo and more passive, and you come in and you start saying, hey, we got to talk about this, chop, chop, we need to get moving, right? And we start to get really loud with them. You're going to freak that person out. You're going to actually intimidate them. So we need to settle down a little bit and communicate to that person based on who they are, not who we are, okay? So the third one, this is the person who is more social and upbeat and optimistic and loves to, get emotional about things, right? That person, if you're not that person, if you're maybe more analytical or more direct or more passive, you need to kind of amp this up a little bit. Not as much, not like the person who's direct, but more on the social side of it. Hey, how are things going, right? And talk about something that's fun and of course positive and optimistic, because these people are more positive. Make an emotional connection with this person. Stay upbeat, keep things short, right? Get to the point, but do it in a fun and optimistic way. It's a little bit different than the other two styles I just suggested, right? You want to make sure that when you leave this person, they feel good about that interaction. And remember, no matter who you're interacting with, when you leave that interaction, that person must be able to say that you get them, right? I don't want to leave an interaction and people say, Phil doesn't get me. I want people to say, Phil gets me. And how do I do that? I modify me, right? My communication style and my personality a bit to match and mirror theirs in the most authentic way I can. Look, if I go into a direct person's space and I start wasting their time and I sit back and I relax and I act like I'm having a metaphorical cup of tea with them and I spend a lot of time talking about my weekend and my family and my grandchildren and things like that, this person's going to be annoyed by me, right? They're going to say, I got things to do. I need you to get out of here is what they're saying in their head. And when I leave, they're not saying Phil gets me. They're saying Phil doesn't get me. No resonance. Ineffective communication, okay? And then finally, the fourth one is that analytical, meditative person, the person that's direct and linear, right? Not very emotional. Not that they don't have emotions, but they don't like to share their emotions. I don't want to come in and start talking about emotional things and sharing my life with this person. This person doesn't even want me coming into their space in the first place. They'd rather have me digitally communicate with them. But if I need to communicate with them outside of a digital way, face to face, I want to be very direct, very to the point, okay? Not aggressive like with the first style we talked about, the direct person, just very linear, very and a little bit lower tone of voice, right? Slow things down a little bit, give details, be accurate and methodical, and be linear with my speaking, okay? Don't get emotional, but get to the point as well, but also back up all of my points, okay? Really important to understand. So if we understand these four various styles and we can modify our style to match and mirror theirs, then guess what? We're communicating in an effective way. Because remember, we shouldn't be communicating based on who we are in our style. We should be communicating based on who they are and their style. And this is important, okay? So like I promised, okay, there's a video that will really help you get to the next level in your communication, and that's how to improve your communication skills at work. And think about this. This video, you'll be able to get it right here. There's a link in the video or down below. We'll give you one really great idea, okay? One concept that'll help you understand how you might be sabotaging all of your interactions unconsciously based on what I call labels. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like the video. And if you know somebody who could benefit from this, share it with them. And of course, if you subscribe to my channel, you will be notified every time I add another video. Hope you had enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a great day.